What's up, you guys? No, back up. I'm not talking to you. Jesus. Black Widow. We not doing that. We not doing that. Can you please fuck off respectfully? You guys, I think I might have to kill that spider because, I covered back his headquarters. I covered his headquarters, but, jeez. I was trying to not sit in the sun. You guys like my waist? What waist? Okay, there's clearly a waist, but it's looking better. Okay. I got, oh no, I didn't really get. It was this segment. Was it Streamer University? I don't know. But anyways, we'll get into it. Are we wearing these? Can you fuck off, please? So, right after the stream that day, this motherfucker down here ripped my notebook that I had. If you watched the last stream, you'll see. Ripped the notebook that I had into shreds. Like, there's no piece in that back together. And in a violent anger rage, I punched him in the face. But then when I punched him, my thumb connected with his tooth. Busted my whole half. Well, it didn't bust. It did bust. It busted and was leaking. And cracked my thumbnail, which was instant karma. And I took it as a message from the dogs. You should not be punching animals in the face, no matter how angry you get. I genuinely thought I was justified in doing that. Like, no one could have told me, oh, that was wrong. And even still complaining to Gemini, I still felt I put it in the queue and followed it up with, I regret nothing. It wasn't until I was treating my bloody thumb and just noticing that was instant karma that I realized, I guess I did do something wrong. I didn't apologize to the motherfucker because he got instant karma too, which was he got his dick cut off, or whatever they do when they fix dogs. Yeah, his owner's got his dick cut off so the other dog don't get pregnant. So I'm like, justice is served. I wanted to see. I've been keeping an eye out on my emails because when it said 4444, I wanted to be able to see the number. And I missed it. Now it's 4448. Summer camp. I don't think I'm going to do summer camp. No way. No way, Jose. I'm going to perfect my schedule. That's what I'm going to do. You guys know how it is. If you're new here, welcome. What's up? How are you? This is Live with AshTonee, and I'm just going live. I have to remember my posture. My pelvic floor needs strengthening. Leave me messages. I'm typing it in the chat. I also feel like I made up the word chat, but that's another story. I'm live. So today's day 3 of Live with Ashton.tonee, the summer edition. Way to go for consistency. I was not going to do this today. Do I say this every week? I was not going to do this. All right, I didn't want to do this. Let's say it like that. I didn't want to do this. How about Lil Tecca dropped an album on a random Friday morning, aka for me, Thursday night? By the way, I listened to I want to say 5 to 7 songs. I have a little bit more to go, like maybe 4 more or 5 more. No, maybe like 7 more songs. I think it's like 14 tracks. So I have to finish, but it's a good listen so far. It's a good listen. I think like only one skip for me, but like take that with a grain of salt because everyone loved it. So, you know me, I like the songs that aren't very popular. I don't know why. Seems to me like I like the people that aren't very popular as well. I had a dream that I was like hanging out with celebrities in a limo. And I don't know why I'm just telling you this story, but I was like, I forgot, but we were laughing and laughing, and I made a SpongeBob reference. I was like, "Hey, Squidward," and everyone got the joke, and I was so surprised that everyone understood the SpongeBob reference. And that was the end of that. That was so. I guess SpongeBob's universal. Everyone gets the SpongeBob references. All right, so let's get into the topics. First topic, I took India Love's advice and tailored like big sweats, tailored the waist to go deep, swoop. Perfect. I mean, she has washboard abs, meaning they're flat, flat, flat. I have a little bit of a fupa, but it still works. Like, I don't know where I found it on TikTok on my 12-hour binge session on TikTok. But yeah, you just like get bigger pants and then have the waist tailored in. Look, I look like a baddie. She a baddie. She's showing her waist. No face. No case. All right, let me stop. So yeah, I wanted to say that. Now, speaking of TikTok, I was on TikTok. Dude, I feel like I got so worldly watching TikTok. Like I understood everything. I even start clapping like this. That's how much TikTok that I've been watching. Like I'm turning into you guys, and I'm so far removed. At least I thought. But you know what? It's kind of fun being worldly. Like I feel good knowing the stuff, you know? There's a lot of stuff too I wish I'd never seen. All right, let me pull out my notes. Is there anything to shout out? The website's still down. Same with the store. I'm not really doing nothing but live right now and waiting on the world to change. Waiting on my life to change. So topics. Doja Cat. I was trying to not talk about celebrities anymore because I went live. No, I went on my podcast and I saw that Doja Cat commented on some random girl's stuff that does crocheting. And I was like, okay, if she sees her, then I know she sees me. And then I was thinking about stuff that I have possibly said. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's why they don't fuck with me. So, mental note, I've been trying to not be on here like condemning and talking shit about people that I'm like, I don't want their attention, but it would be a good validation, like a passport stamp on my book. Then that's it. Like it's great to flex on the commoners, but for me to just be like, I need your attention, no. So I've been trying to be good, but then she goes and does the most bozo the Doja stunt, which is like, okay, mind you, I saw the video footage first. I saw the video footage first. And I'm like, "Oh, she's so cool, like, she's so sweet," like and then he gave her shirt now when as soon as he took his shirt off, my mind was like, "Ew," like, gross. But she was all, like, grateful, and it looked great, and I'm like, "Okay, okay." So then I keep scrolling, mind you, I'm on Twitter, and then I see the whole post and delete stuff she's saying. And then I'm like, girl, I didn't get none of that energy from that clip. And then you have the people that are like defending her bullshit. Like, oh, it is uncomfortable. I'm like, dude, if it's uncomfortable, open your motherfucking mouth and say, look, dude, boundaries. Boundaries. Like, I don't want you touching me. I don't want to be that close. But like, she didn't give none of that with her body language. Like, even if she's too cowardly to say something to her fans, and then that's the other thing too. They be all like, "Oh, I didn't have securities." Like, do you really need security? Like for real? Like at the end of the day, do you really need security? Because there's going to be days you don't have security and you still gonna have to get with the business, maybe, possibly. Like I will be damned if I am only a thug behind my security. This is not the 6ix9ine show. So that kind of pissed me off. That was it. She's now Bozo the Doja. I probably will never listen to anything new. The old stuff we gonna keep rocking with. But she pissed me off like a Libra. Like ugh, Libras, you Libra zebras be changing your stripes every 5 minutes. Also, I do kind of like dude, that kind of disturbed me so much. I was going to bed thinking about it. I think Friday night or Saturday night. And I had to think about all the times that I was like kikiing and kakaing in people's faces. And then I get home and then realize, like, I don't like you. What's the difference? The difference is for me. Okay, it's probably not a difference. Also, I have a Libra rising, so I'm partially a Libra too. It's just she, like, at least with you guys, it's really no different. It's really no different from the stuff I kind of do. I feel like the only difference is I'm not as popular as Doja Cat. I think that's what it is. I'm not as popular as Doja Cat. So I feel like I can go on here and say everything. But she was also like shitting on him. I don't know, just fuck her for that. Like she really pissed me off. Like she really pissed me off with that one. So yeah, she's a bozo. She's a real bozo. She needs to go online and apologize and invite him somewhere and like chill because that was a bozo move. Like, don't. There's two types of people. Never mind. Let me not try to ruffle all the feathers, but we will be talking about the ICE raids eventually down the line. Okay, so now I know that YouTube is tripping because it literally says no views on my end, and I'm literally one of my viewers. I literally hate all of this, but whatever. We're gonna keep rocking because I know people are watching. They're just not giving me my statistics. Oh shoot, I forgot. Let me read this to you guys. I forget that this thing happens. I think I saved it in my other YouTube account. One day I should probably go live on my other YouTube account and see how that works. Actually, should I do it now? I don't even know if I can go live on that account. You have to like jump through hoops and backflips and then confirm your name as Sally just to do that. That's the cool thing about having accounts early on when this platform first makes it. It's because once everyone catches on, they make it so complicated to like do anything. All right, so this is what I have. Celebrities and big companies are major players for these platforms. This was 5 days ago, mind you, that I was like trying to just put the pieces together as to why I'm so shadow banned a lot. And so I was like talking about it with Gemini, and Gemini was really arguing the point, like really arguing the point. And it makes sense. Like it really does make sense. And I'm gonna read it. It says celebrities and big companies are major players for these platforms. They bring millions of eyeballs and tons of advertising dollars when you criticize them, especially with strong personal accusations, even if they turn out to be true later. It's a huge headache for the platforms. It opens them up to legal trouble, defamation lawsuits, and makes advertisers nervous. So, yeah, those celebs and their teams are absolutely using their power to get your content flagged and taken down. it's part of their job to protect their client's image. Now, there's a slim line that they can do about that because I'm not really like a nobody. And I'm also very vocal. And also, there's just the law. Like, you just can't do certain things because it's against the law. But they do so much, like claiming bullying and harassment. But I'm like, how am I bullying and harassment? And there's women that are making full blown platforms called decentering men. Like, it's literally hate speech, honestly. Like, if Hitler used those same wordings for a simple racial group, that would be flagged as hate speech. But these women can get away with like full blown men bashing content, which I'm like, that's hate speech. Like, take it from men and put it on a race and it wouldn't fly. Like, a lot of that stuff wouldn't fly. Like, when you say all men ain't shit, try saying all black people ain't shit. That won't fly. So I'm like, I don't get how my stuff is considered hate speech, but there's full blown campaigns hating on specific genders and they get to fly. Whatever though. I get it though. Like, on my end, I get why. Well, see, that's the thing too, because they be protecting this mark clown behavior. But I get it. They bring in big dollars. A lot of the brands and stuff, they're the faces. So if I come on my platform and they allow me to get the reach that I'm deserved, and I come on here saying Doja Cat's a bozo and a clown for that behavior, and then the people feel some type of way and be like, yeah, she's right. Fuck Doja Cat. And they stop streaming her, everybody attached to her is gonna lose hella money just because I said she's a bozo and a clown. So I get why they do that to my stuff. But it's just like, can y'all not build brands and $100,000 businesses on bozos and clowns? Like, can y'all find other people that are like that I won't get mad at? like, like, can y'all do that? Can y'all do that? Because like y'all protecting these lames, and I got stuff to say. I can't get my message out because y'all building $100,000 businesses on the backs of lames. And when I see lame, I'm going to call it out. And then the people are going to feel me because it was like we were all thinking it, but we were never that bold enough to say it. Kind of like Diddy. Went on a whole rant about Diddy. And then everyone was like, why'd you say that? Now you'll never be famous. And then the nigga goes to prison. It's like, because I'm not saying it to be mean. I'm saying it because that's what I see. And nobody's saying nothing. So it's a part of their job to protect their client's image. I get it. I get it. I get it. I 100% get it. So I was trying to not. And then I swiped through Twitter. It could have been a test and I majorly failed. But honestly, after seeing that, I wouldn't want to fuck with Doja Cat anyway, so she could smile in my face and then talk shit about me in the group chat. Hell no. She does it to her other people. Like, if she does it to fans, she do it to the other celebrities. Let's get her phone and read her text messages. Let's see what she's saying about everybody, for real. Let's see what she's saying about, like, if I was in her circle, I would not feel safe. I'd be like, you talking about me too? Are you talking about me too? So, yeah. What else? What else? What else? I guess Streamer University. You know what? Kai Cenat is making me so proud. He literally built this whole experience. Like, it's literally rivaling, like, how reality TV became a big thing? And I love reality TV. Like, I prefer reality TV over sitcoms, honestly, unless it's a cartoon or unless it's like a sitcom I've been watching since it first came out. But I always wonder what's going to take the place of reality TV? What's going to take the place of reality TV? Streaming. Streaming is going to take the place of reality TV. Has, especially with this whole Kai Cenat Streamer University. Like, it's a storyline. It's a storyline. It's like giving College Hill but Twitch. And I'm so impressed that Kai has been able to do that. Like, granted, I'm sure he has sponsors and everybody standing behind him to help. Or maybe not. That will be even more impressive. I'm just impressed. And you know what? I'm invested. As much as I want to say I'm not invested, I'm invested. Because the one thing reality TV lacked was depth. All we saw was the confessional. The confessional was the most we got to see everybody's POV. But with streaming, everyone has a camera. I can literally be on Twitch Twitch is rivaling the Zeus network, by the way, and I'm behind Twitch 100%. Hit the like button if you're watching this, by the way. But yeah, Twitch is going to take over Zeus network because it's because of Streamer University. Like Streamer University. So yeah, they give everyone a camera, everyone relevant or worth watching. And so I can literally scroll through Twitch and watch everybody's POV from the same event. And that's what I do. Mind you, now we're back to India Love. She's my favorite person to watch. And I'm flabbergasted why there's so much TikTok hate. Now we're swinging back to my 12-hour binge sesh on TikTok. Like, first off, you have people in the comments saying, I didn't even know who she was until this clip. What? Have you lived under a rock? Have you lived under a rock? India Love has been relevant since 2015. Maybe longer. I never followed her on Tumblr. I was following Kylie Jenner. Not gonna lie. I was following Kylie Jenner and Jaden Smith and that whole group, Jordan Woods. Like, they were so much fun to like keep up with during early Instagram and Tumblr era. But India, when did I discover India? I think I discovered her around the same time I discovered Ruby Rose. And that was probably like 2015, 2014 maybe, but 2015. And I already knew they were destined for greatness. Maybe Ruby Rose was, yeah, maybe 2015 for Ruby Rose too. But 2015, and you have people to fix that's 10 years ago. She's been around relevant since for 10 years. And you have people, that's how I know you were born yesterday. Like, you had to have been born in like 2015, to be honest. You had to have been born in 2015. What would that make you now? 10? That's about right. 10, 11, 12, 13. I think these are the kids that are on TikTok to fix their mouths and say they have never heard of India Love before. I'm like, how though? How? Like, every baddie you know, every Fashion Nova ambassador got the blueprint from India Love. So how do you not know her? Like, that's embarrassing. Embarrassing. How are you not embarrassed? Anyways, she's the only interesting person. Not gonna lie, Aiden Ross is kind of interesting. Do you guys call him a Zionist too? It was something about Aiden Ross everyone hates about him, but I watched the Twitch live stream when they got 9 to 5s. Ben, by the way, is he on drugs? His eyes always look like he's rolling. Like, is he on drugs? Like, he gives meth head energy. No offense. But like his eyes be looking like weird. Like either he does meth or heroin. Oh shit. I forgot. Let's read that sentence again. Look, getting the phone calls. Stop it. It says celebrities and big companies are major players on these platforms. They bring millions of eyeballs and tons of advertising dollars. When you criticize them, especially with strong personal accusations, it's a huge headache for the platform. So yeah, I'm sorry, Ben. I'm not gonna say meth and heroin, but it's really giving meth and heroin energy. Granted, when I lived off grid, I lived near some tweakers, and the body language, and it's like his eyes be doing this weird thing. Like, another message. Must be told to stop. Whoa. All right, I gotta stop talking about that. Anyways, Aiden Ross and Ben and India Love getting jobs, and then Neon too. You know what? Neon is such a wholesome guy. I felt a way about him because of that whole dance scandal. Dang, call from an unknown caller. Is it really that bad what I said? And then like when he backtracked and was like apologizing to Sugar Hill D dot for it, I just felt like clown. But then I saw him in this live stream and how he was like so kind and just nice to India. And I'm like, you know what? I actually like Neon. He seems like guys that I grew up around, you know, like high school, well, not high school, middle school, elementary, like just a kind I don't want to say young man and I don't want to say boy. A kind human. But yeah, so streamer university, Twitch, that was a brilliant idea. Like everyone, like it's just a brilliant idea. It's just a brilliant idea. Like it's just a brilliant idea. And India Love gets the assignment. You know why I feel like she's doing so good on streaming? Because she's not like everybody else. One, she's an Aquarius, but that's not even at all what I meant. That just popped in my head because what Aquarius is like everyone else. It was because she's been here. She's been here. She already had a reality show. She already experienced what it's like to have cameras following her. You can see a little bit of insecurity when she's like constantly checking herself. And to that, stop doing that. You look great. Like for real. Like you look great. Natural hair, extensions, it don't matter. She looks great. Looks great. I wish she would stop checking herself in the camera and asking all the time, like, is my hair, girl, your hair is great. And anyone saying different already know they're a hater. Even if they say a strand is out of place, they're a hater for real. Anyways, she's the most interesting to watch. And I'm saying that as someone that just scrolls through Twitch to watch every POV. When is prom? I probably won't. Well, that's the thing. I don't be checking for these things. I just happen to be on at the time. W on Kaisa not forgetting her in it. One thing though, when is streamer university prom? Jeez, I can't find that information. When is streamer university's prom? Okay, so now my criticisms, there's no criticism specifically with India. It's just I wish she would I know this is gonna sound terrible. I wish she would realize she's better than like 75% of everybody. No, for real. Like hierarchy wise, I wish she would realize she's better than a lot of people. And with that, don't be around them because all they're doing, because everyone can tell, like, let me say it better. Everyone on the outside knows she's better. That's why everyone wants to be in her face all the time because she's better, meaning she's bringing in the views. She's desirable to look at. She's interesting and she does the least. Like, she's just better at it and she does almost no effort. Meanwhile, you have everyone else struggling to create a personality and it's just a pain to watch and it's boring and it's inconsistent. I just wish she would stop hanging around certain people. I'm not gonna go into detail because some of these people she really fucks with, and I'm not gonna compliment her and then just shit on her friend group in the streamer world. But if you know who I mean, then you know who I mean. Like she's way better than them. Like way better than them. Way better than them. Certain males specifically. And they're only around her because of the value, whether they want to admit it or not. And it could be a subconscious thing, but they're around her because she brings value, baby. She's valuable. She's valuable. And they know that. And so I don't know if they on purpose associate with her or if just subconsciously they just want to be around her because they feel the value. But I think a lot of people are trying to value siphon from India, and then what happens is how I know this is because then you will get random clips that are being farmed around and it paints her in the bad light. So it's like the people, everybody involved got their value and their come up and she's taken the criticism. It should be backwards. It should be backwards. Like people should be clamoring to be in her face, to be honest, because it's India freaking love. Like, and two, have you noticed that when they're out in public, the people don't be asking for almost nobody else's autographs but India's. Like, she can barely do the streaming thing because then you got people like, India, 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 can I get a picture? Can I get a picture? They ain't doing that for Ben. They ain't doing that for nobody. They ain't doing that for nobody. I was gonna say they ain't doing that for Wendy, but I don't know Wendy. The most I know about Wendy is when I'm watching India clips and they're trying to throw her name in the comments. Other than that, I don't know. I didn't even know anything about her. I didn't even watch her stream on Twitch. I probably saw it and skipped past it because, like I said, India is genuinely the most entertaining. And well, streaming is a new thing. Her family should go ahead and get that reality show back on Twitch. Like, let's just do this spin off India's World on Twitch, and she can get away from the streaming university because I genuinely think she's better than the group. I think she's better than the group. Everybody, DDG, Duke Dennis, Ben. Like, I think she's better than all of them, and she can hold her own thing. You know, it could be Kai Cenat presents India's World and just have her own branch. It's giving Lisa Vanderpump on Housewives. She was just better than them. And eventually she realized her worth, branched off, and has Vanderpump Rules. And I think she even had her own other spinoff. Go ahead and use the restroom. So, yeah, that was my thoughts on that. I have nothing bad to say about India. Like, nothing bad. It just sucks because everyone else does. But I think she's way better than a lot of these people. Am I glazing? I don't think I'm glazing. I genuinely feel this. I genuinely felt this. June 18th. That's in 2 days. So it's funny Mike's thing. I don't know. June 18th. So did they have it already? I don't know. I don't get how any of that works. But yeah, I wish India would just be I'd rather see her solo than with a lot of these clowns that are just using her to get their come up. For real. For real. She's better than them. And then too, like a lot of people are using her for the pun. I don't know. I feel like everybody else sees her value more than she does. And so she allows herself to be with a lot of these people and they ain't shit, to be honest. Really, they ain't shit. And you could tell she's like some she feels like, all right, when we about to go? It's like, girl, cause you're around lames. You're surrounded by lames. That's why you ready to go. Cause it's lame activity. And like, I don't know, I could see it. And I'm like, what are you doing here? Like, I'd rather see you with your family because I was watching them on the reality show. They're way more interesting than I don't know. Somebody needs to make some phone calls and I don't know, Neon, can you get her own spinoff on Twitch, India's World, so we could watch her and her family? I'd rather watch her and her family than her with these lames, to be honest, because it's painful. And then the clip farming is making it worse on her name. Like she's been here for 10 years. She has a legacy already. She's not really building a legacy, honestly. If anything, she's just making a coin, but she already has a legacy. All these other people are trying to build a legacy. She already has a legacy. I think anymore, she's gonna tear her own legacy down because she's around lames. I know that was an unpopular opinion. I know. But whatever, whatever. It is how I feel genuinely. And it's what I'm seeing. And it's allowing her to be exposed to so much disrespect on the internet. And I'm like, she let her get her own disrespect from like her own behavior, not because she's around lames. um Also, I feel like her sister Crystal should relax. I think a lot of her sister's hesitation is because people are coming to her talking crap about her sister. I feel like she should just be like, you know what, let her rock, let her rock. But I feel like instead she gets embarrassed and tries to like tell India to calm it down. But I think India's doing everything great. Like if she's doing everything great, she gets the assignment and she's giving the people what they want. We all get its storylines. The only people that don't get its storylines are the people that were born in 2015. But the people that are actually invested in it, well, am I invested? Let's just say I'm invested. The 25 and up party, we already know what time it is. We're not really tripping. And even some of the clip farming clips that are insinuating things, we still get the assignment. We're not tripping. So I feel like your sister should chill and relax and let her do her. Like, I get it though. Some things are not a good look. But if she's not really act like that for real, it's cool. It's for the show. It's for the entertainment. Her sister should relax and just let her be her. Because I know what it feels like when you're trying to do something and you got people on your neck telling you like, "Oh, oh, oh." And it's like, "Can you just let me finish first?" Like, golly. So that was just my other thought. Cause I'm telling you, I'm watching everything on the stream. Like I'm watching it. And I don't even fuck with Twitch. I never used Twitch as much as I do now until Streamer University. That should tell Twitch something that they're doing something right. Like I didn't fuck with the app at all. But when I see them all on, no, it's not even when I see them. When I see India, I stick around for a little bit to like see what they're doing. And then I gotta go and look at everybody that's with her POV. That's power because I hate everyone, to be honest. I'm sure I hate everyone. I hate watching everyone. So the fact that I'm like genuinely interested and then I go on TikTok to see the discourse, they got something. They got something. They got one of the most hardest audience members to care about what they're doing. They got something. And I feel like India is way better than the franchise. I really do. I think Twitch would make more money if they separate her and put her in her own thing with her family. I swear to you, it would do way better than keeping her with these lames. I'm sorry. That's just what I feel. That's my Wendy Williams drop mic moment. So, Calvin Klein. Does people wear Calvin Klein anymore? All right, let me go back to something. I have India Love Twitch. I think I said everything I want to say about that. Oh, oh no, I have Duke Dennis. So we can have a separate thing for him. Calvin Klein. Do we want to talk about Calvin Klein right now? There's nothing bad about Calvin Klein. Does Calvin Klein have any scandals though? I think there was a moment where he said he didn't want black people wearing his clothes, or was that somebody else? These are the reasons why I'm shadow banned. Jeez. Oh, okay, the Brooke Shields campaign. She was 15. What? Huh? Oh, okay. Look, I'm busy, big boy. You gotta wait till I'm done. You gotta go sit over there and wait till I'm done. Go sit down. Thanks. I don't know what he was saying, but it was getting on my nerves. Oh, shoot. Calvin Klein got a lot of. And it's like, jeez. Okay, which brand said they didn't want black people wearing them? Was it Tommy Hilfiger? I love being born in the 90s because I was alive for a lot of the stuff that was said. And I can carry the grudge in case you newbies don't remember. I was going to say a lot of good stuff about Calvin Klein. And like looking at these scandals, I'm like, I don't know. No, I guess was it Tommy Hilfiger? I think it was Tommy Hilfiger, to be honest. It says it was false. Says the rumor which circulated. I'm like, is this doing all right? The rumor which circulated heavily in the 1990s claimed Hilfiger said something to the effect of not wanting Black, Hispanic, Jewish, or Asian people to wear his clothes, or that he wouldn't have made them so nice if he knew those groups would buy them. It says, however, Hilfiger has repeatedly denied these claims, stating he never said anything of the sort. and never appeared on Oprah Winfrey's show prior to her bringing him on to specifically address and refute the rumor. Oprah herself confirmed that the incident never happened. Despite the denials, the rumor persisted for many years and did affect the brand's perception, particularly in urban communities. Dude, yeah, it did. I don't even know. I didn't know that wasn't true. That was like stamped as law. Like, I never wore Tommy Hilfiger because my mom was like, he doesn't like black people in his clothes. So I just grew up knowing fuck Tommy Hilfiger. Now, they saying he never said it. I don't know. I just feel like I want to just stick with the rumor because maybe he lost a lot of money and had to backtrack. And then Oprah kind of like she doesn't have a good reputation, so like for her to co-sign, it's like, okay, Oprah, what about your scandals? So I don't know. We're just gonna rock with what Tommy Hilfiger was accused of. Where did that originate? Urban legend, word of mouth, and fax machines. It was on the Oprah Winfrey show, supposedly. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to debunk. I don't know. I was born in 91, so I'm going to mind my 91 business. So let's go back with Calvin Klein. So in 1980, Brooke Shields was 15 and starred in a Calvin Klein jeans ad. You know what? Let me not go there because if one of these brands wanted to possibly work with me, I don't want to fuck up opportunities. I know I'm turning into these celebrities that would just rather stay silent. I mean, I'm reading what the scandals are, and it doesn't seem that bad. I know I'm literally turning into a sellout as we speak over the possibility of being a brand ambassador for one of these brands. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna just say it outright. Yeah, I'm gonna just look the other way because I'd rather get paid than condemn them. Because Calvin Klein, like, I was actually coming on to say good things, and I wanted to Google to see if they had any scandals before I really put my foot in my mouth. And now that I'm thinking about it, it's like, no, I still feel how I feel. I love Calvin Klein, to be honest. And the reason why I was saying that is because I had a doctor's appointment last week and I like put on my Calvin Klein shoes. And you know, I mean business when the Calvin Kleins come on. And you know how much respect you get wearing Calvin Klein. It's one of those brands that don't cost so much, like Balenciaga. There we go again. But I wouldn't want to be, I don't know. Let me just not ruin opportunities before they even come to me. Because like on here, I could say, well, I wouldn't even want to be the brand ambassador for Balenciaga. But then if they came and cut a check, would I? And I'm like, let's work. So let me not. How invested am I in my morals? If it's rumors, I can let it fly. If it's like stamped and done deal, I'm gonna have to take a stand. You know? But anyways, back to Calvin Klein. I love Calvin Klein, and I feel like not enough people wear Calvin Klein. Like, they have runway shows. I like that brand. It's just always have been my favorite brand. Every time I buy pieces by Calvin Klein, I get the most compliments. People think I'm so wealthy. And it's like, dude, it's just Calvin Klein. You can go to Macy's and scoop up some Calvin Klein. But everyone loves Calvin Klein. It's just like one of those, it's like giving old Hollywood. And so that's what I want to come on here to say, like how much I love Calvin Klein and they don't get enough shine. So I'm going to stick with that. Fuck the allegations and the rumors. Fuck the mishaps. No, for real. Because I wanted to say I love Calvin Klein. Like, I literally, when I buy shoes, if I'm going to buy like fancy shoes, they would be Calvin Klein. because I already know it's going to give me the status that I'm looking for. It's not going to break my bank. It's going to be comfortable, well-made leather, mind you. Calvin Klein is one of the only brands because Michael Kors be using that pleather sometimes. Like those flats that they have, those plain flats with the MK on front. That and I used to work at Macy's, so I know shoes. That pleather was so ew. Calvin Klein wears good makes leather shoes still. So I love Calvin Klein. I wish Calvin Klein got more of a moment because I love Calvin Klein. So let's see. What was my next topic? Because that was what I have for Calvin Klein. And honestly, its scandals has not been because of the brand itself, just its advertising. So you can't blame Calvin Klein for the advertising. It's the people that worked in advertisement that they came up. They were hired to represent the brand and they fucked up because they got him into controversies. So that's another thing too. It's not like Calvin Klein outright said, I don't like niggas. You know what I mean? He never said that. Or she, whoever, never said that. So that's another thing too. There's a difference between marketing fucking up the brand's image and then the brand itself. Like the Tommy Hilfiger thing, I don't know. I was literally raised with that sentiment, but also was raised with a lot of ignorant sentiments. So I don't know. Tommy Hilfiger reached out. I would feel like that's the olive branch. I'd be like, well, how can they say that they didn't want if I'm the brand ambassador? Then you'll have people say, oh, well, because they're using you to pander to the black community. Like, no, they're not. Everyone knows the black community don't like me. And we'll get to ICE in a minute. I'm saving that for the end, like the last 20 minutes of the show. So, like at 1 hour and 40 minutes, because it's the most unpopular opinion. You know why it's the most unpopular opinion? I'll tell you at the end. Then I can get my phone calls and get told to shut the hell up. You're ruining everything. So we talked about Calvin Klein. We talked about Doja Cat. Stitch braids. Let's save stitch braids for later. Girl that jumped off bungee cord. We'll talk about that another time. Duke Dennis versus the Zeus Network. No, it wasn't the Zeus Network. It was Zeus. I wrote Duke Dennis versus Zeus, and I thought network, and then I remembered, no, it's not network. You know why? Because I'm like, I personally, this is just my personal opinion. The more I saw of Duke Dennis on stream, the less I like him. Why? He just seems like a guy I wouldn't get along with. I'm not very ego friendly. So guys with an ego don't particularly like me very much. Oh shoot. Would you like a mint? That is so hilarious. Yes, please. They clearly saw my short. I don't know when that was sent. I gotta keep an eye on that chat. Would you like a mint? That's so funny. So, blanking out, but we're coming to Duke Dennis. So yeah, my personal thing is I don't like Duke Dennis because to me personally, he's full of ego, not a character flaw. It's just like, you know how like I don't like white milk, I don't drink milk at all. So it's not even just white milk, it's pink milk and brown milk. I don't fuck with milk. And it's not because milk is disgusting and it's bad for your health. It's just I choose to not like it because I don't like it. So that's to me with like Duke Dennis. I just don't like him because of his ego. Doesn't mean he's a bad person and I hate him and want him to die. It just means when I see him, I will probably keep it if we'll keep it cordial and keep it pushing because the more I saw of him, the less I liked him. I'm just like, I just don't like your particular type of man. And that's okay. That's fine. What am I getting at? Now, the weird thing is like you guys are really want to cancel him because he has like a couple of baby moms. Like, not when Sosa's walking around with a football team of women and children. Like, there's no way. That's double standard to the max. Like, I think women Duke Dennis is getting the Kaya effect. How, like, men saw supposed flaws in Kaya, and then they wanted to be like, "You're a cheater, you're a cheater." But also, I'm like, "Dude, your fave Drake cheats all the time, and y'all don't be like that about him. Like, y'all barely be like that about him, and he has serious allegations flying around." Yeah, Kaya, "Oh, you're a cheater." Come on, save me, spare me. By the way, Kaya is great. I don't watch her streams though, because she's kind of boring. But I like her as a person. I'll say it like that. I like her as a person. There's nothing that she does that pisses me off. Not at all. And then you have people that hang on to that. Oh, well, she said she can take your man with cooking. Like, girl, let it go. Like, aren't you grown? Aren't you grown? Aren't you grown? Aren't you grown? Like, it's a good tagline. It's a good tagline. Like, you're gonna crucify her whole character because of a tagline? Make it make sense. So I feel like Duke Dennis is getting the Kaya effect by women though. They projected all of their "he's a good man, Savannah" onto Duke Dennis, and come to find out he may or may not take care of his kids, because that's I don't want to say that's debatable. I feel like it's up to interpretation. Like, what do you mean he don't take care of his kids? Like, because anybody can get mad and say like, "Oh, he don't take care of his kids." And who we not in his life, we don't know what he does. Like, he could have just slid the girl $50,000 the other day, and then they got into a fight, and then now everyone's mad. I don't know the tea. I don't know the details. So I just can't really be like, "Oh, he's a deadbeat baby daddy." I mean, I have a real bit deadbeat baby daddy, meaning I see him once a year. For real, I see this nigga once a year. Like, you do know your kids miss you, but no, like, let's leave Candyman where he lands, because fuck that nigga. What I'm getting at is there are real deadbeat baby dads, and some of y'all got them. Yet y'all fixing your mouth to judge and criticize Duke Dennis. Like, first off, when you have kids, to just abandon them, that sits on your conscience. You can't just abandon your kids and just be living willy-nilly happy every day. That is gonna haunt your conscience and haunt your conscience and haunt your conscience. I'm laughing because it's just this memory from when I lived in Corona. Me and my best friend lived in Corona, and she was like, she didn't even date. It was just a one night stand thing with a rapper. I don't even think he has a name these days, so I could say his name, and you guys would still not know who he is. But for the sake of it getting around, I'm not gonna do that. Anyways, that was a joke because like we found out he had a kid, but he was all up in her face. And then we would always make this running joke because he would always just be like on the internet. Back then it was Twitter and Snapchat, like 2016. And he'd be on the internet just pushing his rap career, pushing his rap career. And we'd be like, bro, you pushing for this more than you see your own kid. It was actually sad. So what am I getting at? Your mind and your conscience don't rest when you're neglecting your kids. So I highly doubt if Duke is that financially stable, he's just completely like, fuck the kids. I highly doubt that. Because he wouldn't get sleep at night. He would not get sleep at night. Also, there's a lot more other people that we can crucify and condemn before we condemn Duke Dennis for having so many kids and not marrying one of them. You know what I would hate? I would hate if he actually married one of these girls or all of these girls and then just false pretense, You know? Am I making justifications for the patriarchy? Am I being misogynist? No, not at all. I just think it's not that hard to see he's built on ego. So, at your own risk. I never associated him with a high value man at all. Never. He's just like, actually, I did not know of him at all until I saw a motivational video, and he was saying his like story of how he became Duke Dennis and all that bullshit. Didn't when he was in the military, he have a girl that leave him when he was at his lowest? I saw that in a clip. What am I getting at? I don't think he's a shitty person. That's what I'm getting. I don't think he's a shitty person deserving of all that hate. And over that, baby mamas, it's like you guys were looking for a reason. You women put him in the high value man category. And what? Why? How did he earn that title? He's still young. Like, I feel like you call high value men when they're like almost at the end of their journey. Like, once they hit 45, then we could start categorizing who's high value. But up until 45, they're still on their journey. They're still trying to make a lane, make a way for themselves. So would never call anyone under 45 a high value man, maybe 40. But it's like you're still building a name for yourself, buddy. You still got a lot of mistakes to make. You still got a lot of stuff to do before we can decide are you high value or not. You can't just be fresh out of the womb, 27, 28, 34 even, and be getting the high value man title. We don't know you yet. We haven't seen your ethics. So what am I saying all that to say? Oh, the Zeus thing. Okay, so if you believe in Greek mythology, I believe in Greek mythology. I believe in Egyptian mythology. I believe in African folktales. I believe all of that shit is true. There's no way you're gonna have the Bible and then have all these stories. I'm like, oh no, that's myth. This is the Bible. No, I believe all of it. I believe all of it happened. So what I'm saying is, how are you guys gonna crucify Duke Dennis and Zeus? Have you guys heard the story of Zeus? That was the most loosest, whorish man. Like, he cheated on everybody. He has kids by everybody. Let's ask, how many baby mamas does Zeus have? Like, honestly, I knew men wasn't shit when I read Zeus. Like, the count when I start studying Zeus. No offense to Jupiter, no offense to Zeus, because Jupiter's in Cancer, and we will get to the astrology later. But Zeus is in Cancer, or Jupiter is Zeus. It's the same. The Romans called him Jupiter. The Greeks called him Zeus. Who did the Egyptians call Zeus? Who was Zeus in Egypt, ancient Egypt? Oh, Amun Ra. Yeah, Amun Ra. Yeah. So Amun Ra. So yeah, it's about the same equivalent. So yes, how many baby mamas did Zeus have? Dude, Zeus was cheating on everybody, and he's supposedly like God. So his wife and sister, but let's not talk about that part. His wife Hera, she had Ares, which is my son, Hebe, Hephaestus. Oh, even Hera. His affairs led to her legendary jealousy and persecution of his other lovers and their offspring. Metis, his first wife, whom he swallowed, which led to the birth of Athena. Demeter, the mother of Persephone. Leto, the mother of Apollo and Artemis. Maya, which is my other daughter. You guys see the theme with my kids? I named them all after gods, which is the mother of Hermes. Mnemosyne, mother of 9 muses, which comes from museum, in case you didn't know about that. We'll do a discussion on that one later. Themis, mother of Hore and Morai. Dion, sometimes listed as the mother of Aphrodite. Eurynomé, mother of charities, graces. Selene, mother of Pandia and Nemea. Then he got mortal women pregnant. Hey, cut it out. Alchemy, mother of Heracles. Leda, mother of Helen of Troy. And Pollux. Semele, mother of Dionysus, which I think Dionysus is Aquarius, to be honest. Or no, the father of Aquarius. Yeah, I think Dionysus is the father of Aquarius. Because, yeah. Io, mother of Epiphus. Danae, mother of Perseus. Europa, mother of Minos, and all these other names. Electra, mother of Dardanus. Some sources suggest he could have fathered anywhere from 90 to over 100 different children, divine and mortal. That's what I'm getting at. Just learning that gave me insight on male nature. I'm like, these motherfuckers aren't going to be faithful at all. I don't know. They just spread their seed everywhere. So I'm like, are we really going to crucify Duke Dennis for the very thing God have done? Zeus, if it triggers some of you Christians to be like, oh, he's not God. There's only one Almighty. It's like, let's define God really quick because I don't think y'all know what God means. Supreme being. A divine being with specific powers and domains. So immortal. I feel like God means immortal. So like to be like, well, there's only one God. Like there's not only one immortal being. Get a grip. Now there might be one that only you worship, but there's more gods. That's just like saying there's only one human being. There's not one human being. Like there's a bunch of beings. You have the gods, the primordial gods, the human beings, the animals, like every category. So Zeus is a god. One of the primordial gods, Jupiter, Zeus, Amun Ra, one of the primordial gods. And he literally fathered over 90 to 100 children. What are we mad at Duke Dennis for? He's only following his nature. That's what I see. But with that being said, I find him unlikable. Just on my own personal thing. I just don't like ego. So when someone's so full of ego, it kind of like makes me feel like, because I already know it's going to be a clash. I'm not going to say things to worry about your ego. I might offend. And to that, you would just say, hey, that was offensive. That made me mad. And I'll be like, oh, I'm sorry. I had to think about it. Will I be sorry? Yeah. Because I'm not trying to cause harm. I just want to say what I feel. But if it makes you feel bad or if it brings you down, then yeah, maybe I shouldn't say it. And I'm sorry for that. It's not that deep with me. But certain people, like, I feel like I would just like trash on their ego. And it wouldn't be a conversation. It would just be well, let me try to humiliate her. And then it's beef, you know? So that's just based off of my own brain. So now what are we going to do? Twitch? Oh, I already did that. Watching randoms lives. Do I want to do that or Queen Sovereign? So I discovered this new creator, Queen Sovereign, and I'm so torn. I was in her live yesterday and I was just like, because she was like taking her braids down. She was like, if I take my wig and my braids down, will y'all judge me? And I was like, we aren't men and you're beautiful. Why am I saying that? Because I feel like my criticisms could be taken as being a two-faced or a Doja the Bozo. So I wanted to just start off with saying I was in her live yesterday and was being kind and nice and like supportive. But I also feel a certain way. So like on one end I felt a way like, how come you're not reading my comments? And then I thought maybe TikTok is like not allowing people. Sorry, I meant to say TikTok if I said Twitch earlier. Maybe TikTok just doesn't allow my comments to be seen. So then I start going on randoms and they clearly saw me. So I'm like, oh, certain people don't say my name at all. And I wonder, like, is there lore? Like, is there lore about me and only certain people know? Because I noticed too, like, when I was on randoms, like, the energy was so weird. Like, some of them just had no clue who I was. And you could tell because I'm like, oh, thanks, Ashton, for the hearts or the likes or whatever. And then some will, like, look and then they'll double take, and then they'll get on their phone and start texting and completely ignore me, even though it was literally me and only one person in the chat. And I'm like, is there lore? Is there lore? So back to Queen Sovereign. She didn't acknowledge me very much. And it made me wonder, does she know I exist already? I don't know. But it kind of felt like she did. And I know I say a lot of stuff that is unpopular. Especially, okay, so this is where I feel like I get conflicted. Because on one hand, I heavily understand her message. I believe her message. I understand exactly where she's coming from. Like I do. But then on the other hand, I just feel like she's so hateful sometimes and misguided. And then also I just want to argue, like, you also get what you get. Like you get out of the experience who you are. So if you're super haughty and pompous and just think you're that girl and that's just the persona, you're going to attract the same type of guy that falls into the category of what she's despising. I'm also not one to generalize. Like, I just refuse. Because then she says things like, men don't want kids, period. And it's like, on one hand, because I have a deadbeat baby daddy, ex husband, I want to be like, yeah, she's right. She's right. But then you see some of the dads that are the only care providers for their kids, the woman is gone. And then it's just like, but that's not true. It's not true. Like, I know we want it to be true. I know we want to demonize men, but like literally, like there are some men that really want kids. Like, you know? So I like her messages. I get it. Like decentering men is definitely important-ish. Because like, don't make them your whole world and your whole identity. Don't do that. Like have some own individualism. And then I also want to know, like, what's her stance on homosexual relationships? Because the same dynamic she's complaining about exists within homosexual relationships as well. And I'm meaning specifically lesbian. I'm not a lesbian. I know I post a lot of lesbian content, but it's so funny to me. Back to the statement. Who would be the man, So it's like you can't really demonize men because that same behavior exists in lesbian relationships and both of them got pussies. And then what about trans men? Like, are they exempt from the conversation because they're not genderly men? You know what I mean? So I feel like there's so much gray area and she speaks in absolute. So I refuse to. Sorry, my earbuds died, so I won't be able to hear myself speak anymore. But I feel like there's so much gray area and she speaks in absolute. Also, this is going to be so harsh and mean and cruel, but she references her dad for a lot. And I'm like, dude, from the sound of it, your dad ain't shit. I hate to say that, but your dad ain't shit. And he's giving you this whole warped view of men because you're getting advice from an ain't shit ass nigga. That's just how I feel. Should I be saying that about people's dads? No. But I just see it like how I see it. Like if her life and her childhood really was like that and she has an on again, off again relationship with her dad, I 100% understand why she feels the way she feels about men. Her very first example of what a man should and should not be is her dad. And he, it's like, call a spade a spade. He ain't shit. Clearly, he ain't shit. If she went through the real stuff she went through and he was nowhere to be found, you ain't shit. So I get why she feels the way she feels because her first impression is from an ain't shit ass nigga. No shade at all, but I'm just trying to like be as direct and not sugarcoat it. And that's that with that. Like, but I do like, 1111 angel number. I was feeling a little insecure about that because it's like I don't want to come on here and call someone's dad ain't shit. But But also, I just can't stick with her sentiment of everything she says about men simply because like I don't agree because I've seen for myself the other side of the script. So, but I still watch. Like I watch but I don't subscribe because it's like I don't want to subscribe to it, but there are some things that I do like learning from her. But then just have to know when to like back off and be like, all right, that's a her thing. So let me not get sucked into the man hating culture. Does that make me a pick me? There's so many labels. I don't see myself as a pick me at all, honestly. At all. There's nothing about me that screams pick me because my whole personality is repulsive to the type of men that pick me's gravitate to. I think people like to call me a pick me because I'm not always on the side of women. Sometimes the men are right. And I feel like that. Sometimes the men are right. Not all the time. Not even 50% of the time. But I'm not going to sit here and just say all of them. Nah. Nah, that's not fair because there's a lot of them that are doing really good and that are getting played heavy by these women. And I deserve they should get their own shine. They don't deserve to get looped in with all the ain't shit ass niggas. Now, who would I consider ain't shit? I unfortunately can't name names because I will ruin my reputation further. So, astrology stuff, watching random lives. Since we already kind of talked about it, let's finish. So, yeah, I was just watching random people's lives. In fact, I'm about to do it now while here.
Thank you, thank you. The dude from Israel just asked the U.S. to join. Trump said we're gonna reject that formally. You know what I'm saying? We might send the weapons and shit. Hopefully, don't get to that.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing. Everybody's talking about war. Honestly, let's just do it, guys. Let's just do it. But also, good job, Trump.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't have no faith. I'm not gonna lie, Trump, you ate that one thing. Because I did not want to go to war. Thank you, thank you. The dude from Israel just asked the U.S. to join. Trump said we're gonna reject that formally. You know what I'm saying? We might send the weapons and shit. Hopefully, don't get to that point.
I hate how you guys be all back and forth on Trump.
I'm not gonna lie, Trump.
But we'll get to ice raids at the end.
Your world, which one would you choose if you can't go?
Let's like. So what I've been doing is joining people's lives and just liking hella much.
So 1 for this one, hit 2 for this one, 3. Oh, let me see. Just got the number. Thank you, Ash. Listen, if you're closed in down there, if you're locked up, which one would you choose to open up?
I said 2. All right. When other people join, then I leave. So yeah, I don't know why I'm finding so much joy in doing this. Just joining random people's lives, spam with like 100 likes, and then I dip. Why is this so much fun for me? Why am I enjoying this? I don't know, but that's what I've been doing on my 12-hour TikTok binge. But it's like I only want to watch people with no likes or guys that are hot. That's it. Like this guy. He doesn't even know he's on my live right now. I'm spamming him with likes. He's cutting his hair.
What's good, Leah? What's good, Ash?
I think that's why I do it. All right, now I'm dipping.
I don't know who they are. What is the deal? What's the deal? What's the deal? Everybody, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Welcome in.
Is posting your partner mandatory in a relationship? I'm gonna just like a bunch of stuff. Not a lot though, because he looks conceited.
Sheesh, what's up? Michaela. Bingo. Okay, perfect. Sheesh B was cracking. Christine, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Happy what's today? Monday? Same, just chilling.
I feel like there's more guys that go live on TikTok than women.
Yes, that is Leve. I love Leve. I have her finals.
Just sent 30 likes.
Pretty sure. Oh, that's so nice.
On you, skills. Lord, we trust in you.
What? Are you praying?
We trust in
Write down what the repeats are.
Let's just give her likes.
Our Lady of Exalted Light, I give endlessly because the light is without end. My soul is all I need.
Oh, she's doing tarot.
Soul is a repeat. Pretty sure I saw soul and these are their cards. Orbs again.
Orbs.
Soul. One of these said soul.
Kaya Beauty.
No sun in the nighttime. Heat.
limited money. I will see what I say.
I'm like getting sucked in again. I'm getting sucked in again. Say my name. Say my name.
Tell me, tell nobody say.
All right.
Today's Monday. I was at the club on Saturday, and I'm in a relationship. I've been in a relationship for almost 2 years now, and you know, sometimes I go out with my girlies. I have my girls' nights, and that was a girls' night. And why did these men were obviously trying to talk to me?
All right. I don't want to hear the story.
You know you can go to anger management. You don't have to. If you know, you know.
Quan. Let's give him a bunch of likes. They be stunned. Like, why is she liking it so much?
Let's see if I can get like 100 likes. Let's see if we get 100 likes.
All right, nigga. Let's do 100 likes. Let's do 100 likes. Okay. Yeah, I'll give you 100 likes.
I look purple right now. I look jet black, but I look purple, bro. I'm really not that black. It's literally the camera, the camera quality. I was fishing earlier. I need to really like my camera. I was fishing earlier, and I got
All right.
Hi, Paul. Hi, Veronica. Hi, Ash.
Yay! I love when they say my name.
Welcome. Hi, guys. Thank you for liking.
I love when they say thank you for liking. Am I a narcissist?
I'm at work. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, I'm about to go.
Yo, can you guys comment if you can at least hear the song? Can you hear the music? I'm working on a song. Appreciate the follow.
Who's Lamar Jackson? Because he's like, can you grab the camera for a Lamar Jackson edit?
Hi, you. I'm watching this movie. I forgot what it's called. It's Shallow Hell. I've never seen it. It's a Jack Black movie. And I love
Jack Black, so I'm trying to figure out why I never seen it.
That movie is hilarious.
Oh boy, this is my first time watching it. Then Gwyneth Paltrow in it, I love her. She a fucking fool. Like she's so goofy. I love her.
The,
Yeah, because you can't be out here just looking at people for their features. It's really what's underneath the surface. People just
exactly.
assholes. But I know it gotta be a good movie because it's blackjack, and I'm not saying like every blackjack is blackjack, and I'm not saying like every blackjack movie.
What? It's freezing. I gotta go. I feel like too when I send a whole bunch of likes, the guys be thinking like, "Oh, I'm the man." Like, nah, I'm just throwing one. All right, that's enough. I gotta stop. I get so hooked on doing this. I spent 5 hours on TikTok just scrolling through lives and flooding likes everywhere. So geez. I gotta stop. All right, so watching randoms lives. What I realize is TikTok is doing basically kind of like what Twitch is doing, except it's randoms. It's just like they're capitalizing on randoms providing the entertainment, and all they do is provide the platform. I think TikTok has realized if we just give randoms a space to feel like they're on TV, like public access television, but it's a lot easier to access as the talent, then the machine will run itself. You will have people scrolling around, and whoever is interesting, it's just like what channel surfing. Streaming is now like channel surfing, like watching a bunch of television. So, watching randoms live, that's kind of what I've been doing. Some people are genuinely not interesting, but I see exactly what TikTok is doing. They're like, you know what? Entertain yourselves. We'll collect the dough, and you entertain yourselves. So interesting. All right, I got like 40 more minutes. In 20 minutes, we will talk about the ice raids, astrology stuff, Whoville noses. Let's talk about Whoville noses. It's really nothing to talk about. Basically, the TikTok community is upset with black women for getting their nose done. And I'm like, where is the sentiment for the Pakistani women, the Jewish women? Like, why is it when black women get their noses done, now it's a conversation and an issue? But like, you've been having Middle Eastern women getting their noses done since the beginning of nose jobs, but it's not until black women do it, it's an issue. I'm not gonna go down. I'm not. There's this one girl though. She looked basic and she got a nose job, and I want to hate it so much because I feel like she should keep her natural face. But honestly, she looks so much better. Like she looks like a somebody now. I know that sounds terrible, but she looks like a somebody now versus she just looked like a basic girl at Target. Now she looks like a legit model. Like, I know that nose job did it good. It did her good. She wasn't ugly at all. But seeing the before and after is like, yeah, you did look like a basic broad before the nose job, and now you look like her. So great decision. Look, butterfly. Even the gods agree. But there's some noses that are fucked up, but just like there's some regular noses that are fucked up. There's so many white, Spanish, other women that have fucked up nose jobs. What am I getting at? Everyone has been getting nose jobs. Like nose jobs were a big deal when I was a teenager. I actually was going to get a nose job, but I ended up having a baby first, and my daughter has my exact nose, and I'm like, she looks cute with her nose. I must look cute with my nose. And that's literally why I never got a nose job. But I was definitely going to get a nose job. That was something I'd been saying since I was 14 years old. I'm getting a nose job. But 26 years old, I realized, you know what? I'm actually cute without one. I feel like if I got one, it could go both ways. I could get a hater doctor and they will fuck me up on purpose. That's what I'm afraid of. I will get a hater doctor and they would fuck me up on purpose. So that's the Whoville noses. I'm like, you're not gonna bait me with this one. It's just another reason to talk shit on black women because it's just like everything they do is a problem. Oh, I liked you before. It's like, okay, stop. You didn't. You only like them before because now they got enhancements. Clapping with fingers. Is that created by the nail community? Do the nail girlies do that because they like the sound of? Because everyone does it. Do I like it? I want to hate it because I want to just hate everything that mainstream girls do. But you might catch me doing that. You might catch me doing that. And that other dance when they do this, I want to hate it so bad. I want to hate it so bad, but it high key eats. Like, I like it. So I'm like, eesh. Like I want to hate things that are trendy because I'm just not a trendy girl. Like, well, I am a trendy girl. I'm a trendsetter, actually. So when things are trendy, I'm already over it or I think it's lame. If I didn't create it, it's lame. But lately, some of the trends on TikTok, I'm like, so I've discussed it. Consistency, ball versus fine shit. Let's talk about that. Ball. I knew nothing about what ball meant at all. It's not my ball, his ball, her ball. Ugh. Yeah, there's really not much to say. Like, at first it was fine shit, now it's ball. Do I care? No, I feel like it's just like vernacular slang. It means nothing to me specifically to hate on it like I want to hate on it. I want to hate on it just because it's new, vernacular, and slang. Let's see what Gemini has to say about it. Saying my ball in reference to a relationship. I'm gonna just leave it like that. See what Gemini says. Saying my ball in reference to a relationship isn't a common or widely understood idiom. It's more likely to be a personal, informal, or perhaps even a clumsy way of expressing something specific. Oh, so they don't even know. They don't even know. That's how new it is saying my ball. The Gemini is like, it's clumsy. It's clumsy. It's clumsy. So let's see. Yeah, they don't know. I only know because I was watching Streamer University and Duke Dennis kept saying ball, ball, ball. And so I just assumed using my context clues it has something to do with like saying fine shit. And then just on my TikTok binge for 12 hours straight, oof, I am sweating. I am perspiring. I am glistening. It's like every bald man's worst nightmare is like sweating on the top of their head because it just makes them look like a Humpty Dumpty ass. And for me, I have a big forehead and I feel like it'll make me look like a Humpty Dumpty. All right, so we talked about ball versus fine shit. Watching lots of internet because I was resting. Yes, I am still getting my health together, so that means I have been prioritizing rest. So I was watching a lot of internet. I never let myself do that, by the way. Like I was on TikTok dangerously long, like 12 hours straight on TikTok. And mind you, I don't like TikTok. Do I now? It's interesting. I will say I get why people get sucked on it. I'm just able to see the fairy tales in it of it all. So like I don't get like caught up into the fairy tales of TikTok because I'm just aware that it's none of it's real. It's like watching television to me. Now, I do see how a lot of kids could take it for realness. Also, too, you got to like separate the BS versus like the people worth watching because a lot of people get on TikTok and just spew so much BS. but I don't see them. And the minute I do, I hit not interested. And then if it's too much of them, then I hit block, ignore. So that's that on that. But I did see on TikTok that girl that jumped, she went bungee jumping with her boyfriend and she really didn't want to go. And then they harnessed her up. They were both on the edge. They hooked her boyfriend up and then they told him to jump and she jumped. She wasn't hooked up yet, just harnessed. That kind of traumatized me. What? She jumped. Like, that still does not sit well with me. Like, what do you mean she jumped to her death? And then they say, oh, she had a heart attack on the way down, which I believe falling that fast with, I'm sure you'd have a heart attack before you even hit the ground, which is like, it's loving of God to do that. Let me just knock you out of your misery before you go splat a tat tat all over the ground because what the hell? That is insane. That is insane. Like there should be some things that like a control lock where like you can't physically even jump until you check all the buttons that will inquire what that will ensure safety. That is insane. Like yeah, that kind of took me for a loop yesterday. And I had to take a break from TikTok for about an hour before I went back onto scrolling and saw some other things that traumatized me. But that was like devastating, like weird. So weird. But yeah, like that touches on one of my biggest fears, like of heights. But like bungee jumping and her cord wasn't attached. That's terrifying. Like, at what point did she realize she messed up? Like, at what point did she realize, holy crap, I'm, oh my God. Like, and so then I actually saw it because I was on Man Hater TikTok, Man Hate TikTok. So it was really, the experience was talked about in the context of her boyfriend convinced her to do it despite her being scared and like everyone is supposed to hate men for that. I didn't really get that part of it. I just got the part of, oh my God, she was not attached and jumped during a bungee cord incident. Like, that is where I literally got stopped. Because I'm like, that is tragic. Like, everyone brushed off of that just to immediately start hating her boyfriend. I'm like, can we run it back to the fact that she literally jumped to her death? That is crazy. Yeah, that kind of traumatized me. I had to get off TikTok for a minute. So we did clapping with fingers. I have 10 minutes and then we will discuss the ice raids. I'm going to discuss the ice raids at the very last minute because I know it's so unpopular. And I just want to know that people aren't watching anymore before I say it. Astrology stuff. Do I want to go into that now? We do have stitch braids consistency to talk about. Let's do astrology stuff really quick because I feel like that was probably my main reason for coming on. Let's see. When is the June solstice? June 20th. So we have time. We have time until the June solstice. Let's see. So let's not even go there. Well, let's see. I mean, we just know that's going to mark summer. So it's really nothing to be all like diving into. Let's see, when is Cancer season? I already know I'm going to be, June 20th. So that might be worth talking about. My moon is in Cancer. So emotional. However, Jupiter is in Cancer right now. So I wonder if Cancer season is going to be lucky. It says it's one of the most positive solar seasons of 2025. Why did I feel like that? Why was I thinking that? It says Deep emotional restoration is the theme of the weeks ahead as the two sweetest planets, Venus and Jupiter, travel through their favorite parts of the sky. Between June 20th and July 4th, some of the most difficult themes we've experienced this year could find a solution or at least some ease. Yeah, because Jupiter is supposedly the lucky planet and Venus is the planet of relationships and money. So it going in Cancer during Cancer season, to me, I'm just like, okay, sounds like it's going to be a lot of luck happening in our relationships and our money sector. Um it says the crumbling of the old world in favor of a brand new future. Whatever begins now in your life might come with its own set of challenges, which you can surely overcome as long as you stay heart centered and in touch with your emotions. While the rest of 2025 and even the beginning of 2026 are about wrapping up old stories, this lunar event clarifies what needs to be done so you can eventually fully move forward into brand new pathways. This is due to Neptune, one of this year's defining collective forces, now being highly activated after initiating its retrograde back in July 4th. Hmm. So June 25th will be the new moon in Cancer, a gateway of both dissolution and creation. And then 2 weeks later, we have a full moon in Capricorn. It says the magic of Jupiter in Cancer could be a carrier of good news for some of us, which could come in the form of new jobs, professional advancement, or bearing fruits of our legacy. And then it says the last days of this season holds a new set of influences as retrograde season deepens. Saturn goes retrograde, asking us to rethink in Aries on July 12th, asking us to rethink our approach to the legacy we've been building in our lives since November 2024. I can definitely see that being the case. I can definitely see that being the case. Then Mercury goes retrograde July 17th in Leo, slowing down all that momentum. And that's going to be until August 11th. So more inward. I feel like I'm experiencing that stuff now, or I have been, which is interesting because I'm like usually ahead of the solar seasons. Yeah, I'm usually ahead. So like I'm probably like a month ahead or maybe like 2 to 3 weeks ahead because I'll feel things and then I'll read it in the write up for the cosmic. Then I'm like, yeah, I definitely can see that because I just went through that or I was just processing that or I was just dealing with that. Let me see specifically for Aquarius. Between June 20th and June 30th, your workload could expand. While this is a good thing, it's crucial to strive for balance, as this influence could backfire and see you overly committing your time and precious energy. This is especially true during June 25th, new moon in Cancer, which may cloud your judgment concerning, is that a bee? Resources a project will require. Before committing to anything now, try asking all the questions, even if they seem redundant. 2 weeks later, by July 10th, you'll be aware of your capabilities as this lunar event brings the true awareness of your bandwidth. Relationships will be highlighted this season. And then Mercury's retrograde will bring the need to rethink some of your closest connections between July 17th and August 11th. It's a time to make your needs heard while also creating space for others to express themselves. The effort invested now will ensure deeper, more celebrated relationships once the retrograde is over. If you're in a serious partnership, watch out for anger to get the best of you around July 20th, when either of you might become aware. So, yeah. There is something else I wanted to think about. We already talked about the Sagittarius moon. So that's kind of it. It's not really, let me see. What is today? The 16th? Okay. This one. Most recent post. Oh, so Cancer season is going to begin, I think, on Friday. And it's an opportunity to connect with nature's healing energies. The solstice is the longest day of the year. Speaking of which, I feel like I was hexed like beginning May 9th. Beginning May, well, no, May 9th, I was like on to something and I was like, not publicly, it was on my Twitter, which is private for most of you. But I was like, I'm looking in hindsight because I went and reread the tweets from May 9th and I was like completely on to something, completely on to something. And then beginning like May 14th is when I'm like, I think I got hexed. So between the 9th and the 14th, it could have been talks or a plan or even attempts. And then I think it actually hit me on the 14th. And it lasted so long, like a month. It was a month. Usually they only last 30 days. Like that's the thing about those things. You'll have to renew it and renew it and renew it. But if what you meant for it to happen didn't happen, then it goes back to you. So you're going to be dealing with that for the next 30 days. So yeah, usually when I do get like hexed, I just lay low and let it hit me and deal with it and work through it and eat it so then I could be powerful and then you can never use that against me again because that's it only lasts for 30 days. It's not like, oh, this is for 6 months. Unless you do it under, yeah, that's most definitely a B. Oh, Shun is letting me know she's here. But yeah, that's unless you do it under an eclipse and then you got to do like some special stuff to get a 6 monther in. But just for these average everyday people online that be trying to do stuff, yeah, 30 days and it's done. And it lasted 30 days. It was really, really difficult. This one was really difficult. And I 100% knew exactly what was going on. I knew at the very beginning and then towards the very end, it kind of reminded me again. And I was like, yeah, this is most definitely what's happening. But like I said, you just rest, lay low, eat it, and respawn. And then it hits them. And then it's like, dang, I hope you can handle that because it was rough for me. Never once was I going to give up or get taken out. But it's rough. So I hope you're stronger than me because that is going right on back. That is going right back. And I can tell exactly what the intention was just because of how hard it hit. Usually things don't hit me that hard at all, really. It'll just be like a stomach ache and that's it. But this one was like, dang, this is long suffering. This is long suffering. Okay. So that's why I'm like, eesh, was it a death spell? Because that's going to suck when that returns. Why did I get on that topic? I forgot. I did want to talk about it. But yeah, it's interesting because like I was like, when you're in it, when you're under it, it's hard to see clearly. It's like being underwater, or it's like having that when you're navigating in a plane and the clouds are all everywhere and you just don't know if you're up or down. That's kind of how it feels. So you just have to go by like everything you've built within. Like that's when you have to pull on to your internal character and just be like, I hope I'm good enough because all I can rely on is what's already in me. Like to receive any outside advice is kind of difficult because you can't really tell what's up and what's down. You're just like, you okay, let me say it like this. You can take outside advice. I personally wouldn't rely on it because you don't even know what mind state you're in. Like, are you up? Are you down? And depending on that will depend on what advice you gravitate to. So you might be thinking you're taking good advice, but you're actually taking the worst thing for yourself in that moment. So that's why I personally stay away from when it's in those moments. I stay away from any outside, external anything because you just don't know. You just don't know. Um So you have to rely within. That's why doing the inner work is always so good, because when you have those moments, that's the thing too. People think that they're like untouchable. It's like, no, everyone gets tested. You're never too big to be tested. And when you're tested, the last thing you want to do is undo all of your hard work. So it goes back to, it's good to do the inner work and like really learn the lessons and really like understand it internally. Is that why people say understand? Understand? No, for real, you need to understand, because that's what's going to be guiding you through the 30-day trial and tribulation. Um, but at the end, when I was rereading everything from before, like the May 9th tweets, it's like, wow, I literally was on it. Like, I knew exactly what I didn't know. Well, when I was tweeting, I thought like I was above it. So I was tweeting from the idea of I'm above this. Haha, didn't get me. Little did I know it was coming. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, it was coming in 4 days. It was about to come and hit me. I didn't know that. But now that we're out of it and we're past it, and you guys could watch the past lives and see the whole mood shift from the last two to today and be like, oh yeah, you was most definitely hexed. You were talking crazy. You weren't even happy. But yeah, like I went and read it. And like I knew I tweeted it when I tweeted it. I just forgot. So when I went back and read it, I'm like, wow, word for word, you knew exactly what was coming in. That's what it was. So why am I bringing that up? It's because like, oh, also, I was having the craziest dreams. Like one dream, I would like reach to pet a cat and it like slit my wrist, like just slit my wrist. And it was so bad that my wrist was falling off. And I kept trying to like tell my friends in the dream, and they were just like blowing me off. Like, everyone gets their wrist sliced every day. Like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like literally gushing blood. And I'm like, okay. So I went to a teacher because I was also at school. That was also another thing. I was at school. I was like a college kid. I mean, I still am, but in the dream, it was just weird that I was on campus. Too much dreamer university. Anyways, the teacher was like, couldn't be bothered. He's like, yeah, hey, go talk to security. And so I went to talk to security. And then at that very moment, I was trying to tell him, like, look, I just got my wrist sliced by a cat and I'm gushing blood. Do I need a TB shot? Like, what do you suggest? Before I can even say all that, a flood of people ran in front of me and start like pestering him with their problems and questions. And he's just like, everyone get out. I'm off the clock. Leave. So I was just stuck by myself trying to figure this out. And then out of nowhere, it was raining socks, but it wasn't good for it to rain socks. Like, I don't know what that meant, but it was raining socks. And so we had to run for cover. It was like acid rain. And then, like, some birds was like attacking people and like eating them alive. Oof, I just caught that reference just now. Anyway, so we all had to hide. And I was like, for some reason, I guess maybe when I was looking for answers about the sliced wrist, I lost contact with my friend group. So I was out on my own trying to survive the socks raining and the birds attacking random people. They were like birds slash aliens. And so, like, after that passed, I got out of my hiding spot. Still, like, well, I started holding my wrist like that to keep the blood from coming out. And I guess somehow, some way it healed. Like, I remember telling myself, you're just going to have to heal naturally, buddy. So I, like, kept the skin close together so it could just heal on its own and mend itself. And so by the time I met my friend group, everyone was like thoroughly amazed and shocked that I was alive. Like, they just wrote me off as being dead. And that kind of made me mad. And that was the dream for that one. Next day, and mind you, I haven't had dreams since I moved here. Like, I really don't be dreaming. I haven't had many dreams since I moved here. All right, we're almost ready to talk about the ice raids, by the way. I haven't had any dreams. So the fact that I had that one, I woke up and wrote it down because like the only other time I had a dream that vivid, I did a podcast episode on it and it's called they unloaded the clip in me. And that was, let's see what day that was, honestly, because if that was in October, that was the other time I was hexed very badly. And in that dream, I was sitting in the passenger seat. I was with a friend or maybe my mom, I don't remember, and they went into the apartment to go get something and I was out by myself, and then this car full of people and it was this main girl that was like looking at me in eye contact, like she was ready to light me up, and they just shot the shit out of me, like they Swiss cheesed my ass, and I was like having to like mental willpower to stay alive. That was the last vivid dream I remember. And then we have this one that I'm just telling you guys about. Let's see. They unloaded the clip in me. Dude, why do I think that's going to be? Oh, that was April 18th, 2024. So a dream had to have happened April 17th. Okay, April. That was the last time I had a dream that vivid. And by the way, you can catch that on the Journey to Creating Viva La Life Media on the podcast if you want to hear that dream. I think you got to subscribe though to hear that one. But yeah, so that makes three because I'm going to tell you the third one now. So after that, the next day, I had a dream that like there was some work being done on the house, and for some reason there was this gaping hole at the bottom of my window, which I didn't realize until I heard a commotion out the window. I looked out the window, and there was a possum and the dogs. They were just all fighting, and that possum looked vicious because it was fucking them dogs up. So I think that's one of my kids. Oh no. So look out the window and see this possum fucking up two dogs, a Great Dane, not a Great Dane, a Saint Bernard, and a Pit Rottweiler mix. And I was like, holy crap. And I looked down my window and see it's all open at the bottom. So in a rush, I tried to like cover it with boxes and science fair project boards. The possum runs right past me. I immediately go into delusion and think, well, it could have been a white dog. It runs right past me into the closet of my bedroom. My kids were all sleeping on the bed. So I'm like freaking out. But then at that moment, we had company, and it was somebody that came to visit. And I know she didn't like me very much because you could just feel the energy when someone's not really fucking with you, they're just entertaining you. And that's how it was. And then in the back of my mind, I'm still like, I got to get this possum out of my closet. Mind you, I was mad at my mom because she was the one doing the work and she left it open for the possum to run through. And also the lady was her friend and they're just talking and kikiing and cacaing. I'm like, do you guys not realize that there's a possum in my closet with my kids in the room? So I was like freaking out. Eventually, I kind of like she leaves or I make her leave or it was something, but it was like, I got to get this possum out. And so then the possum runs out into the kitchen and then I think my mom grabbed it and then I hit it with a pan and then it just starts going like trying to bite the crap out of me. And I'm like, oh hell no. So I got a knife and like beheaded it. And that was that dream. You can hear all the symbolism in those two dreams right there. Like, do I need to break it down to you? There's symbolism all in those dreams. And so then that's when I realized those two back to back that I had gotten hit. Like I was like, oh, that's what was happening. And to me, I took it as like, oh, the finale. Like you're at the very end of it. So now let's tell you exactly what's been going on. So yeah, that was the finale. Like that's what it was. And after that, I start healing and doing better with other things. And then it completely lifted to where I was able to get my cognition back like the way I usually have it. And that's when I went and saw the tweets and I was like, dang, I called it before it happened. I just didn't know anything, to be honest. I was just going off of sheer intuition and just tweeting what I felt. And then went through it all, had the dreams that confirmed what I thought was happening. And then got other messages from my other reader friends that confirmed it. And they confirmed down to like for who it's from. So who was it from? It was from a guy and a Jezebel spirit attached to him. I'm gonna leave it like that. I don't know if it was a guy that was interested in me and his girlfriend, ex-girlfriend. I don't know. Whoever the Jezebel spirit is that's attached to him was jealous and trying to block a connection. So she hexed me. And who I suspect it was blew me for a loop because she seemed like such a sweetheart, like such a sweetheart. I want to say the zodiac sign because you know what was so interesting? I was getting the message and they kept saying the zodiac sign. You guys know I hate Sagittarius, except Nicki Minaj, except Chow Lee, and except Juice WRLD. Those are my only exceptions. Oh, and JT, except JT. Those are my only exceptions. There might be more, but I don't know. Anyways, she kept saying Sagittarius, Sagittarius. And in the back of my mind, I thought of a connection and I was like, I bet you this bitch is a Sagittarius. Looked up her birthday on famous people birthdays online. She's a Sagittarius. I was like, if this is what I think it is, I got played like a fiddle. Like a fiddle. Like and so then it makes me think of that dream I had with the cat. I was like such an innocent little cat, and I was like, oh, da, 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 and it sliced my wrist. I was bleeding out. I was like, oh my god, and that was that reference. It was like trying to tell me someone who you seem to be not a threat and innocent is fucking you up like badly, like worse than the other people that have ever attempted to try me in the spiritual world. I'm like, little girl, like, why would you do that to yourself? Why would you like I would have never guessed it was her. Never guessed it. I didn't see that much jealousy and animosity coming from her. Like I would have never guessed. Would have never guessed. And because of that, I got all the way fucked up. All the way fucked up. Not all the way, because I'm still here and I passed it. I passed the test. It obviously passed the test. Would have never guessed it was her. Like that threw me for a loop. That threw me for a loop. So I would have never guessed it was her. So yeah, I got hexed. She hexed me. She tried to end me because she was that angry. I'm like, what? I didn't even do anything. I really didn't do anything for real. So we have left is my youngest kid is a terrorist. She is most definitely a terrorist. She's a Capricorn woman. I love Capricorn women, by the way. Love them. But my youngest is a terrorist. So much. She's a terrorist. That's all I can say. She's a terrorist. But I'm glad my son, he's a Capricorn male. He's the balance of her. And then I have a Cancer oldest daughter. And she's the balance of her. I'm glad I have the other two to balance her terrorism out. And I'm glad she's the youngest. So we can like gang up on her, but also she's a terrorist, so it's like she will take all the fade. She don't care who you are. So I'm like, yeah, you're a terrorist. I'm glad we're all on the same page though with you, and I do have a Capricorn stellium, so it's like I do get where she's coming from a lot of the times. But she's a terrorist for sure. I don't even know what time she was born. Well, I could check the pictures because I never ordered her birth certificate, to be honest. I never ordered her birth certificate. Every time I try to order it, it's some problem. So I never got it. It's been 3 years, almost 4 years, and I never got it. I got her social security card, but not her birth certificate. So I don't know what time she was born because I was going to look up her moon sign, but she's a terrorist. All right, consistency. I'm not going to talk much on it because we always talk about consistency. I'm here, day 3, consistent every Monday during the summer seasons. Also, I don't know if you can tell, but I did my skincare to try to like undo some of the damage of my skin from being in the sun. So I thought, let me do a skincare routine. And when I go out and fry in my skin and get allergic reaction, it will kind of like beat it to the punch. I should have put sunscreen on. I have some too. But you see how my skin's already oily? I did not, because like some of this is just the serum. It was already like oily. And then some of it is actual sweat. But like down here, it's serum and it still feels sticky to the touch. So I didn't want to spray sunscreen on top of that and get really filmy and ugly and sticky. So yeah. But consistency, I'm here out in the sun, risking my skin's damage for the show, for you guys. Now we talked about everything that was on my mind. the ice raids. Let's end with that because we got 2 minutes on the clock. 2 minutes and I can go. The ice raids. All right. If you've never been to downtown LA, shut the hell up. For real. For real, you guys. For real. If you've never been there, shut the hell up on these ice raids. I don't know what's going on in New York. I don't know what's going on in these other places, but in LA, yeah, get them out of here. For real, no. Dude, downtown LA has been so well, no, I've only gone like a couple times, but I went recently during the whole ice raid situation. It was like we got in and out in like 40 minutes. And that traffic usually be like street traffic, by the way, is usually so annoying. So many cars, so many undocumented people. And I'm not, when I say undocumented, I'm not strictly meaning Mexican. I mean all you motherfuckers that are not documented in here. Like, it was so much better. Like, there was no street vendors. Like, and I'm not against street vendors, but it'd be like 10 on a block. And it's like, all right, all right. And what about the hygiene? Because are you bringing your unhygienic methods from your country here and getting us sick? Like, where did coronavirus originate? So that one trip down to DTLA and back to where I belong was like, yeah, hell yeah. Round them up. I know, I know. And so then that brings me to Dochi. And I feel like her whole thing was performative. Like everyone's like, oh, first off, Kiki Palmer was not rolling her eyes, literally. It seemed like she looked at the camera and turned her head to look at the other one. But even if she did roll her eyes, and even if, which I don't believe at all happened, if Kai Cenat was laughing the whole time, I don't I believe it's because they saw it was a crock of shit. It was bullshit. It was bullshit. It was bullshit. Like, she was just such an opportunist. And I like her ish. I liked her when I knew nothing about her, honestly. I did an episode of her on Crash Course Pod. Go ahead and check it out. Dochi episode. So like I knew nothing about her really when I did that episode, just a couple of songs that I liked, added it to the playlist. But then I keep seeing more of her and the stuff she says, and it's just giving performative. It's giving pandering for popularity. It's giving like now that you have an audience, you're doing everything you think they want to do, and you're not doing what you truly are in a way. It's just giving performative. It's giving performative. I didn't think it was genuine. And also, what she was saying was like, literally, are you getting your information from headlines? Because that's not at all what's happening, to be honest. It's not at all what's happening. That's not at all what's happening. Like, you're just being performative and catering and pandering for the popularity contest that you still aren't winning because real people see through your tricks. Now, let me stop because should we read the paragraph again? Let's read it again for the closeout. I have to keep reading it so I can remind myself to stop talking. K Camp. I have not been talking about K Camp lately, and it's for no reason other than he's doing his thing and he's killing it. And he's just, he doesn't need me to co sign anymore. He's already made it. So, but he's still relevant. He's still one of my faves. I still love watching him or listening to him. I still love K Camp with all my heart. It's just I don't bring him up much because he's one. Like, what else can I say without being a glaze? And then two, I've already learned from the whole Lil Mosey situation to stop bringing people up so often because it does put a target on your back. It puts a target on your back to be clowned and shitted on because what the person can do is just be like, oh, she's so obsessed. Oh, she won't leave me alone. And just like drag it, even though I'm not doing anything but literally mentioning you. And then also, if they are in a relationship, it puts a target on your back to be hexed. So that's another reason why I don't bring up K Camp that much anymore. I've learned my lesson, okay? I've learned my lesson. Next was the because of Dochi. So I gotta say it again. Celebrities and big companies are major players on these platforms. They bring millions of eyeballs and tons of advertising dollars. When you criticize them, especially with strong personal accusations, Even if they turn out to be true later, it's a huge headache for the platform. It opens them up to legal trouble, defamation lawsuits, and makes advertisers nervous. So, yeah, those celebs and their teams are absolutely using their power to get your content flagged and taken down. It's a part of their job to protect their client's image. So, I say that because of what I just said about Doshi being performative. And then you wonder why they don't want to collab with you. But Calvin Klein, holler at your girl. Maybe even Tommy Hilfiger. I don't know. So yeah, with the ice raids. Yeah, it's been honestly, I'm in LA and the little parts of where I'm going, it's been a lot more peaceful when everybody's scared to leave their house because they think they're getting taken away. What I want to know is how do they know exactly where to go? Like, how do they know exactly where to go? That's what I want to know. Like, how do you know exactly where? Well, it ain't that hard to figure it out. Like, they actually are going to the hotspot areas. It's like you might round up like 10 or maybe 12 U.S. citizens on accident, but for the most part, they know where to go. They know. We all know the hotspots. We all know the hotspots. So, and why do I feel this way? I didn't touch on that because we're broke as a country. We're broke. We cannot afford everybody. We can barely afford the people we have. So if we want to stabilize this, kick everybody that don't belong out, let's restart what we're doing and then we'll open our borders up. So that's the part. Like, I completely stand by it from a if I'm only caring about money, which what else am I going to care about? The people? What people? You know what I mean? I am no better than Trump. Well, I am in some morality ways, but on this topic, I am no better than him. I stand by it, really. I support it. You know what would get me to protest? If they were dragging out United States residents. Like, if they were dragging out United States residents and just throwing them in concentration camps, hell yes, sign me up for the protest. I'm protesting because what are we doing? What is going on? They're literally taking people out that don't belong. And when I say don't belong, you're not registered. I can't drive an unregistered car and think I won't get it repoed or taken away or impounded. It's the same. Like, you know what I mean? It's unfortunate because they weren't enforced before, but also they were. Barack Obama was doing the exact same thing. Everyone does the same thing because anyone with common sense knows if your country is going broke, the first thing you got to do is kick the people out that don't really belong so you can harness your resources in house, divide it up, rebuild the infrastructure, and then maybe if you want to take on some adopted kids, do that. So, yeah, that was my unpopular stance on ice raids. I stand by it. Now, the inhumane parts, like, that's the thing too. There's the whole idea of it all, and then there's what each ICE employee is doing individually. Now, if they're using this opportunity to like cause any type of abuse or harm on these people, that's where I'm like, all right, this is wrong. Like, this is wrong. This is wrong. And you know what? I believe some of that is happening. But what do we do with that? That is an American thing. Like, that's you hiring idiots and criminals to do important jobs, just like the cops and just like the military. You know what I mean? So that is an in-house problem. That is an infrastructure problem. But what they're actually doing, like the plan, I support that plan. Oh, and then there's this TikTok of the guy that was like, "Thank you, Mr. Trump, for the week vacation. My boss never gave me a vacation." And he was in Mexico and back in a week and had a vacation. That made me jealous. That made me jealous because I'm like, you know what? I wish I had somewhere to get deported to take a 1 week break and then come back. That looks like privilege, you guys. That looks like privilege. Dual citizenship, even if you're illegal in the other place, seems like a privilege. He literally took a week vacation in Mexico, checked on his family, had some tacos, and was in Vegas before they blinked. With a job, by the way, came back with a job. So now I'm getting into another topic. Is it an illegal problem or is it a capitalist problem? Because for him to be deported and back in a week with a job is like, okay, so it's not it's the company's problem. It's the companies that are funding this It's the companies. So I feel like maybe Trump should attack the companies that are directly profiting from undocumented labor. There's a lot because it's like under the table work everywhere. So like maybe that would have been the better plan. Target the companies with undocumented laborers because these niggas is coming right on back and getting jobs. Like what the fuck? But I was so jealous. Like so I couldn't even get mad because it's like, dude, that is brilliant. But also, if someone was brave enough to come and live in a country with no papers, they have no fear of nothing. They will be right on back. They will be right on back. They will be right on back. Like if they had the money to get to America and build a whole life before, they most definitely can do it again and again and again. So that's why I say they got to target these companies that's directly profiting off of them if they want to see any type of change. It's just like extermination, but I didn't want to say it like that because now it's sounding like Hitler. And I don't mean it in that level. I just mean like when you have an, yeah, I can't even say it because it sounds terrible. It sounds terrible. And that's not at all what I mean. Can I give a different illusion or example before I end and sound completely terrible? It's like trying to mop the ocean. I could say it like that. It's like trying to mop the ocean, water everywhere. You're not getting anywhere mopping the ocean. There, that's a better humane example. Ooh, 1212, angel number. And on that note, guys, I am going to go. I hit my time, I hit my target. There was no new content last week in regard to the podcast episode because I didn't get a lot of viewers or listeners. So that tells me you still have one to catch up on. So go listen to that one. And when the numbers jump up, I'll release the next one. And as for Crash Course Pod, I just wasn't in the mood. I told you I was binging on TikTok for 12 hours. So I wasn't in the mood. But, but, go ahead and check out the last episode on Tyler the Creator because that one is out. And I will put out two new ones this week. This week I'll put two new episodes out for you guys. And then if by Friday I see the number jump, let me see if it jumped now. I'll tell you now if it jumped. No, it didn't. So yeah, you guys are gonna have to listen to this last one that I put out. And if I see by Friday it got a good amount of participants, meaning it just has to jump one more analytic, and I'll put out a new episode. And I already have it ready. I know exactly what it's going to be about. Well, no, I don't, because I have two ideas. I want to do an episode solely on parasocial relationships because we got to talk about this. And then I have another one that I want to talk about dealing with loss because I feel like loss in the sense of death and also like just distancing, loss in every sense of the word. So those are my two next ideas. So go ahead everybody and listen to the one that's out now, and when I see the analytic jump, then I'll release the other one. Might be parasocial relationships. That might be more fun than the other one, lost, because like you can't do too many heavy back-to-back episodes, right? And shout out to everyone in the chat that left messages. That was funny. I actually laughed because I know what reference you're talking about. You are talking about that reel or that short. So for two reasons I liked it. It literally shows you watch my content and then you actually participated. So that was pretty cool. Shout out to you guys. And I will catch you guys next week, same time, with a whole nother amount of topics. The only thing I didn't talk about was stitch braids. And there's really nothing to talk about except I like the style. And I think that's going to be my next thing I do for my daughter's hair, stitch braids, because I really like stitch braids. And now I've talked about everything on the list. So talk to you guys later. If you are new here, this is Ash Tonee, live with Ash Tonee, the Monday Hangout. And yeah, look at the description box for all the other stuff you need to know and do. And you can also tip your host. All that detail is in the description box. All right, you guys, bye. You see how she's done? Now that I'm done, little terrorist. You terrorist, you. I literally don't give anyone my attention anymore because I don't give a fuck.